Hi students, today we are going to learn about the brief presentation. You know what is presentation? So among that, cephalic presentation is the most commonest, and you also know there are other presentation also like face, throat presentation, shoulder presentation, and so on. So among that, the most common is breech. So we are going to deal about this presentation, that is breech presentation. So as I said, the most commonest malpresentation is breech presentation. And in this case, a lie will be longitudinal. It will be proportional. It will be lying on the long axis of the maternal spine. Then podalic wall is at the pelvic rim. Here you can see the buttocks of the baby or the lower part of the baby or the feet is at the lower part of the uterus. And this part will be coming, will be entering the pelvic rim first. Now, if we see the incidence rate here at the 28th week of gestation, mainly 20 percentage of cases we can see breech presentation. But once after as the pregnancy progresses, when it reaches the late period, that is as the pregnancy advances and it reaches the term, within that time itself, the presentation will change. Okay, at the various time, the various presentation will be seen. So, if we see at the 28th week of gestation, 20 percentage of mother, we can see this breech presentation. Whereas this rate, this 20 percentage of the rate, incidence rate will reduce, will drop to 5 percentage at the age of 34 weeks of gestation. Okay, and then again, as the term reaches, this 5 percentage rate will again drop to 3 to 4 percentage. Understood? So the first at the 28 weeks, it will be 28 weeks, 20 percentage of mother vera, the incidence rate 20 percentage will be reached. And as the pregnancy advances, by the 34th week, the incidence rate will reduce to 5 percentage. And then at the turn, that incidence rate will reduce to 3 to 4 percentage. And in 3 out of 4 cases, spontaneous correction can be done by the 34th week. If it is a breech presentation, so by the 34 weeks, the spontaneous correction can be done for the breech presentation, like version can be done. Okay. Or 3 out of 4 cases, spontaneous version can be done, but here we are talking about the spontaneous correction, means the breech presentation will change to the cephalic presentation in 3 out of 4 cases. Okay? And the incidence rate is lower in hospital where the external cephalic version is done and minimum high parity births. In these two cases, the incidence rate will be reduced. The version is we are changing the lie of the baby. Okay? If it is a breech or if it is an oblique lie, we can do a procedure that is known as version. It can be done externally or internally. This we will be dealing in the next classes. The version, it is a procedure, obstetrical procedure that is done to change the lie of the baby. So if it is a breech presentation, in some hospital, the cephalic version is done. Most commonly, the external cephalic version is done, but now it is not that much common. So in that cases, the incidence rate is reduced. Next, we are going to the main important, that is the varieties of breech presentation. There are different varieties or types of breech presentation. You can see the first one is the complete, or otherwise it is known as flexed breech presentation. Another one is incomplete. So if it in the complete presentation, that is flexed, you can see the first one, then it's incomplete, then again it is divided into frank, footling or knee presentation. These are the different types. The main two varieties are complete or otherwise known as flexed, and another one is incomplete. Among the incomplete there are three, that is frank, footling and knee presentation. Okay. So we are moving on forward. So the first one, you can see the complete breech. Here you can see how the baby is positioned. Okay. You can see here in the normal presentation, the cephalic presentation, the attitude, the normal attitude is good flexion. The same thing is happen here also. Here the flexion is, so here the attitude is good flexion. Okay, means the in relation to the baby trunk, the extremities are in flexed position. That is that is in complete breech presentation. The attitude is good flexion. Then you can see the hip. Here the hip is flexed at the knees. Okay, sorry, hips are flexed as well as the knees are flexed. The flexed at hips and knees. Flexion is we can see at the knees as well as in the hips. Now, if we are seeing if this is a breech presentation, imagine. So this part will be coming in the lower pole of the uterus. So this will be the presenting parts. Which are they? So if we are doing pervaginal examination, pervaginally we can see all these parts like the external genitalia, then the feet, two feet will be at the pelvic brim and the two buttocks. Okay, the two buttocks, external genitalia, and the 2 feet will be at the pelvic brim. And it is most commonly seen in multiparas, that is 10% cases. So that is complete breech presentation. That attitude is of good flexion. It is flexed at hips and knee, and at the pelvic brim we will able to see the two buttocks, the feet, and the external genital. You can just remember this picture. Here the attitude is flexion, the hips are flexed as well as the knees are flexed. Okay, then two buttocks, the external genitalia, and the feet will be at the pelvic brim, and it is most commonly seen in the multiparas. 10% is the incidence rate. Now, next we are moving on to the frank breech. You just see this picture. Just see the picture. You can understand here the flexion. You can compare this picture with this picture. It is the complete breech. Okay. So what are the changes you can see here? Here you can see the thighs are flexed, but whereas the knees are not flexed, it is extended. It is extended. The flexed at hips and knees are extended. At the pelvic brim, what we will be able to see that it will be two buttocks and the external genital. It will be at the pelvic brim, and it is most commonly seen in the primary gravida, 70% cases. That is known as frank breech. So here you can see the thighs are flexed, whereas the knees are not flexed, it is extended. At the pelvic brim, you will be able to see the two buttocks as well as the external genitalia. Only that will be at the pelvic brim, and it is most commonly seen in the primary gravida. Now, next is the footling presentation. The footling presentation, the incidence rate is 25%. Here you can see the footling presentation. You can see the both the thighs as well as the knees. Both these are partially extended. You cannot say it is fully extended, it is partially extended. And in this case, the flex will be present at the brim. That is footling presentation. Rarely it happens. That is 25% cases. Legs present at the brim. Here, both the thigh as well as the knees are partially extended and legs are present at the brim. Okay. Now moving on to the next presentation, that is knee presentation. Here, the thighs will be extended and the knees are flexed. You can see thighs extended and the knees are flexed. So what will be at the pelvic brim? The knees will be at the pelvic brim. So these are the varieties: complete breech, frank breech, footling presentation, and knee presentation. Just remember this picture, then you will be able to understand. Here, this one, complete breech, attitude is flexion, one of good flexion. Flexion is at the hip as well as at the knees. The pelvic brim, two buttocks, external genitalia, and the feet. Now the frank breech here, thighs will be flexed, sorry, hips will be flexed, and the knees are extended. Two buttocks and external genitalia will be felt at the pelvic brim. In the footling presentation, thighs and legs are partially extended and legs are present at the brim. Knee presentation, thighs are extended whereas the knees is flexed, so the knee will be at the pelvic brim. Okay. Now, next, there are another two clinical varieties. First one is complicated and uncomplicated. Uncomplicated means along with the breech presentation, there is no any other associated obstetric complication. Whereas in the complicated clinical variety, along with the breech presentation, there are some other conditions like prematurity or twins or contracted pelvis and placenta previa. So this will, due to this, along with breech, if any of this is appearing in the baby or is happening, then the prognosis will be adverse. Okay, that is a complicated and uncomplicated means no any other obstetrical complications along with breech. then what in complicated associated conditions will be there, and that will influence the prognosis. So next we are moving on to the causes. The first cause is prematurity. Second one, the factors preventing spontaneous version. We said that in most cases at the term, the spontaneous version happens. It happens in most of the cases. But due to some reason, the spontaneous version, the lie is not changing. That is automatically, spontaneously, without any effort, usually what happens, the baby will change its own life. That happens in mostly many cases, but in some, due to some factors, the spontaneous version is not happening. What can be the factors? The breech which extended legs, you can imagine extended legs. So here the version cannot be happen. Twins, oligohydramnios, because of less amniotic fluid, the baby is not able to move properly. Then due to the anatomical abnormalities in the structure, septate uterus or bicornuate uterus, short cord and intrauterine fetal death. So because of all these factors, the spontaneous version may not happen. Then favorable adaptation means the baby will be will be adapted to that condition. That is hydrocephalus, placenta previa, contracted pelvis, cornofundal placental attachment. Due to this reason, already now we cannot expect any more changes. Okay. Next is undue mobility of the fetus. That is in hydroamniosis and multipara with lax syndrome. That is the baby is moving more. In hydramnios, polyhydramnios, baby has more than normal amniotic fluids, so that what can happen, the baby will be moving frequently. Then in multipara, if the abdomen laxity has closed or the abdomen is very lax, so this can happen. Then fetal abnormalities, like the fetus is having some abnormality, chromosomal abnormality or anencephaly or muscular abnormality, this can also lead to breech presentation. Now recurrent or habitual breech, that is frequently the subsequent pregnancies are more than 3 pregnancies before breech presentation. So that can happen. Or due to the structural abnormalities, this habitual breech can be happen because the structure of the uterus is already abnormal. It is not normal. So which how many subsequent pregnancies will be breech presentation only. And the cornofundal placental attachment. That is, the placenta is not at the proper site, that the cornofundal region. Okay, so these are the causes. Now we will see the diagnosis. How will will be diagnosing the breech presentation? So the first one is clinical assessment. In that we will do in every normal every cases we are supposed to do antenatal assessment. So in antenatal assessment, in the abdominal examination, we will be able to finalize whether it is breech presentation or no. So here we can see the difference between, we know the difference between complete breech and frank breech. Complete breech, attitude is flexed, okay, good of flexion. In the pelvic group, you know what will be appearing, you just imagine. Instead of cephalic presentation, it is only the breech presentation, only that changes is there. And in frank breech, the hips and the thighs will be it will be extended. So you can imagine what is happening here. Okay, in the front. So now, if we are performing abdominal assessment, especially the first one is fundal grip. So in the, if it is complete breech, the head will be at the fundus. You can imagine head, because it the lower pole, the breech will, vertex will be there. So head will be ballotable, but whereas in the frank breech, the head will not be non ballotable because the legs are extended, so it will not be able to move. Then along with the head, we will be able to feel the feet also. You can imagine, you can just remember the diagram of frank breech. So along with the head, we can visualize, we can feel the feet of the baby. Some irregular parts will be felt. Okay, now next we are moving on forward to the lateral grip. If we are performing the lateral grip, so at the one side we will be getting fetal back and another side irregular limbs. The same happens on cephalic presentation also. But in frank breech, the irregular parts are less felt, because what happens, if you, one side definitely we will be getting back in frank breech, but whereas at the other lateral palpation, this irregular parts will not be felt clearly, because you can, the legs are are extended, so we cannot be able to feel it properly. Next is pelvic grip. So in the pelvic grip, in the complete breech, you know how the buttocks will be felt, soft, broad, irregular mass will be felt. Okay, and because it is breech presentation, so during pregnancy engagement may not happen. Now in frank breech, usually you can small hard and conical mass will be felt, then it will be usually engaged. Okay, because in the complete breech the feet will also be there, so it may be difficult to engage during pregnancy. But in the frank breech, only the buttocks and external genitalia will be will be at the pelvic ring, so it is easily to engage. Now the fundal height located at the higher level near umbilicus. So here the fundal height can be located at the higher level near the umbilicus, but in the frank breech located at the lower level in the middle. Next is vaginal vaginally during pregnancy in the complete breech. Soft irregular parts felt at the fornix. Okay. Whereas in the frank breech, hard feel of the sacrum will be felt. Now, in the during labor, the complete breech, what we can feel, ischial tuberosity will we will be able to palpate, even the sacrum, feet also, because it is complete breech. So feet we will be able to palpate sacrum and ischial tuberosity. Whereas in the frank breech, ischial tuberosity, anal opening and sacrum. Okay, so that is in the difference how we can finalize whether it is complete breech or frank breech. Okay. Now, next is a here. Here it is the image to visualize. So when we will be doing the PV examination, external genitalia will be felt, anus will be felt, sacrum will be felt, and ischial tuberosity. Okay, this is the when we do the PV examination. Then sonography can be done, CT scan, MRI. Through all this method, we can see, we can share the breech presentation. Okay. Now, next is the positions. So, you know, in the cephalic presentation, the positions you know in relation to the various quadrants of the maternal pelvis. So, here the denominator in the cephalic presentation, the denominator is occiput. But here in the breech presentation, the denominator will be sacrum. And if it is sacro anterior or left, there are different positions like the LSA, RSA, LSP, and RSP, and even direct uh, um, direct direct position can also be there. So in some books it may be written 4, in some books it can be written 6. So here, if it is anterior position, the sacrum, we say in cephalic presentation, we say the sacrum will the sacrum, we say the denominator is facing towards the iliopectineal eminence. Same like in breech presentation also, the denominator is changed. Instead of occiput, it is sacrum. Only that difference. Here the sacrum will be pointing towards the iliopectineal eminence. It can also be said as iliopubic eminence. Okay, understood? So as the same as of the cephalic presentation. In cephalic presentation, the denominator is changed. So normally in this breech presentation also the denominator is sacrum. So the position will be changed. So in the anterior position, the sacrum will be facing towards the iliopectineal eminence. In the posterior case, the sacrum will be facing towards the sacroiliac joint. Okay, this in the cephalic presentation, if it is a occiput posterior position, then this occiput will be facing towards the sacroiliac joint. So here the sacrum will be facing towards the sacroiliac joint, and these are the various positions: LSA, RSA, LSP, and RSP. Okay, next we are moving on towards the mechanism of the labor. Okay, so in the normal cephalic presentation, the mechanism was the principal movements was the delivery of the head, then the shoulders, then the trunk. Here the principal movements will be delivery of buttocks, then shoulders, then head. Okay, buttocks and shoulders are bigger. Okay, but it is compressible, so it is easy to come. These buttocks and shoulders are easy to come because it is compressible. But head is non-molding and rapid descent can also happen. Okay. Now we will see in detail the mechanism. Okay, in the first the delivery of buttocks, then the delivery of shoulders will be happening, then the delivery of head will be happening. Okay. So in the buttocks, the first thing you should remember, the engagement will be at the oblique diagonal. or the diameter will be at the oblique diameter. So here the engaging in the buttocks, for the delivery of the buttocks, the engaging diameter will be bitrochanteric diameter, that is 10 centimeter. Then what happens? Engagement will, you just remember the principle of the mechanism of labor. The same principle will be followed here. What the descent will be taking place throughout the labor, and as whichever part first touches the pelvic floor, resistance will rotate forward until it reaches under the pelvic floor. And then whatever emerges from the pelvis, it will be pivot around the pelvic bone. These three principles are followed here. So just remember that. So the engagement has happened. The engaging diameter is right of canter diameter, 10 centimeter. Then descent will be taking, and because of descent, what happens? The buttocks, anterior buttocks will be touching the pelvic floor. Pelvic floor. So what happens? According to the second principle, the anterior buttocks will rotate one bite of the circle until it reaches under the symphysis pubis. Further descent till anteriorly pinches under the symphysis. Okay. Now what happens? Now the buttocks has to be delivered. Delivery of the anterior and posterior hips and lower limbs will be happening. Okay. Then the restitution will be happening. Restitution will happen. So the anterior posterior diameter will be coming. Now, so that is about the buttocks delivery. Okay, engaging diameter, just remember. Then descent will take place after the descent, internal rotation, then delivery of the anterior posterior hips and lower limbs, then restitution. Now, next the buttocks has been delivered. The next has to be delivered. That is the shoulder. Shoulder. Okay. So in the shoulder, the engaging diameter will be bisacromial, that is 12 centimeters. So here it was 10, and now here the 12 centimeter, that is shoulder. For the shoulder delivery, the engaging diameter is 12 centimeter. Now what happens? The descent of the shoulder, same. Then the shoulder will be touching the pelvic floor muscle. So what happened? Internal rotate, it will be rotating internally. And now at the same time, what happens? The external rotation will also take place at the circle of the buttocks. Understood? So you should, before going through this mechanism, you should thorough with the cephalic presentation and the normal mechanism of labor. Understood? So here, internal rotation and external rotation. Now what happens? The delivery of the both the shoulder, anterior and posterior shoulder, will be happening. Then again, the restitution will be happening, forcing anterior shoulder towards right thigh and the left thigh, or left thigh, and the external rotation of the shoulder due to internal rotation of the occipital. Okay. Next is the delivery of the head. In this, the engaging diameter will be suboccipital frontal diameter, that is 10 centimeter. Here again, the descent will be taking with the increasing flexion. Then the occiput will be touch the pelvic floor muscles. So internally it will be rotate one bite of the circle or 2 by 8. It will be according to if it is directly. So this we will see in later. So if it is normal, bridge presentation normal, then one bite of the circle it will rotate. Then further descent till this suboccipital region will comes under the symphysis pubis. Then what happens? The chin, mouth, nose, forehead, vertex, all the normal things what happens in the cephalic delivery mechanism of labor. So that everything is happening. So this is the, generally that is the mechanism of labor in the breech preservation. So here, first the delivery of buttocks has to be happen, then shoulders and head. So in the buttocks, so you just remember, and first the engagement, then descent, then internal rotation of the internal rotation, then delivery, then restitution. Then again, then shoulder has to be delivered, so the engaging diameter, the engagement will have, descent will have, internal rotation, at the same time the external rotation of the buttocks will be happening. Okay? Then delivery of the both the shoulder, and then restitution will be happening. Okay. Now the head will be, the engagement will happen, that is the occiput of frontal diameter, descent will be taking place. So the occiput will be touching the pelvic floor resistance. Then so the internal rotation of the occiput will be taking place, and then again the descent will take, and it will hinges under the symphysis pubis. Okay. Now then what happens? The head will be borne by flexion, that is chin, mouth, nose, forehead, and buttocks and occiput will be there. So here you can see, as I said, the sacrum will be facing the iliopectineal eminence. Okay. So again the descent has happened. So what happened? This descent, so what happened? This has rotated one bite of the circle and it reaches, and sacrum has reaches under the symphysis. Then again the descent and the delivery of the buttocks has happened. Then what happens? Vertex delivered. So now restitution will be happening. So when the restitution happens, now the anterior posterior damage. You can see here. Now what happens? So trunk is delivered. Now here you can see the shoulder delivery. Shoulder will be at the oblique diameter, and then it will be rotate. And shoulder will touch the pelvic floor resistance, so it will be rotating under this until it reaches under the symphysis. Okay. Now the both the shoulders will be delivered. Okay. Now then the delivery of the head. You can see the chin, face, then vertex and the occiput will be delivered. Understood? So this is the mechanism of the right sacroanterior position of the breech persistent. Understood? So before once again I am repeating. So before studying this, we should be thorough enough about the normal mechanism of labor in left LOA or ROA position. Same movement is happening, but here it is little more. First, the buttocks delivery will be happening, then the shoulder, and then the head. Okay. Next. So, as we said, it is we explained regarding the mechanism of labor in the right sacroanterior. Whereas if it is sacroposterior, then in that cases, okay, the head should rotate 3 by 8 of the circle. As we said, if it is a sacroposterior position, the sacrum will be pointing towards the sacroiliac joint. So, for reaching the sacrum until the symphysis pubis, it has to rotate 3 by 8 of the circle. Somewhere 3 by 8 of the circle. So the inner rotation of the head is 3 by 8 of the circle and occiput will be reaching on a single. I think you are understood about this. So once again I will repeat. So in normal delivery, in the mechanism of labor, according to the second principle, the whichever the part is touches the pelvic floor muscles, that part will rotate forward. That you know that. But in the sacro-posterior position, the sacrum will be pointing towards the posterior part, that is sacroiliac joint. So what happened? In order to reach under the symphysis pubis, that the baby has to rotate 3 by 8 of the circle. Understood? फिर नॉर्मल मैकेनिज्म में हमें पता है कि जो भी पार्ट पहले पेल्विक फ्लोर को टच करेगा उसको फॉरवर्ड रोटेट करना है, दैट वी नो. ओके, तो सेम प्रिंसिपल इधर है. हमने सेक्रो एंटीरियर का हमने पढ़ा, उसमें सेक्रम इलियोपेक्टिनियल एमिनेंस में पॉइंट आउट किया है. ओके, इसलिए उसको रोटेट करने के लिए सिर्फ 1/8 ऑफ द सर्कल काफी है. ओके, ओनली उसको इधर से इधर तक ही आना है, 1/8 सर्कल करना है. लेकिन अगर सेक्रो पोस्टीरियर है तो सेक्रम कहाँ पे पॉइंट होगा? सेक्रोइलियाक जॉइंट में. तो वो सेक्रोइलियाक जॉइंट से लेके उसको इधर तक आने के लिए उसको 3 by 8 of the circle has to be rotated. Then only it can reach under the symphysis. Understood? So that is sacroposterior position में this difference we can see. Only that difference, otherwise everything will be same. Now the prognosis. So here in the maternal cases in breech presentation, there are increased operative delivery. There are increased chances of operative delivery. So genital tract trauma, sepsis, anesthetic complication, all that can happen. Even the mortality rate can be increased. In the fetal case, prognosis, perinatal mortality 9 to 25%, and death rate is also increased by 3 to 5 times. Fetal mortality is less in frank breech, and the mortality is in cochlear presentation. And the fetal risk will be depend upon the skill of obstetrician. If the obstetrician is not skilled enough to conduct a breech presentation, then it can lead to fetal death. Okay. Then the weight of the baby, then legs position, type of pelvis. All these factors will influence the fetal risk. So this is the prognosis. Next, the complications. Okay, what are the complications that can occur due to the breech presentation to the fetus? So, IUFD can happen, intrapartum fetal death, intracranial hemorrhage, birth asphyxia, birth injuries like hematoma, that can happen, sternomastoid muscles of thigh muscles, then fracture, visceral injuries like liver injury, lung rupture, kidney injury. Then nerves, it can cause palsies. Then long-term neurological damages. So in order to prevent this fetal hazards, in order to prevent it, we can minimize the breach incidence by external cephalic motion that can be performed to reduce the fetal hazard. Then cesarean section. Nowadays, you know, if it is a breech presentation, most of the family they will be preferring the cesarean section only. So that then vaginal breech delivery should be conducted by the skilled obstetrician anesthetist and neonatologist. So through this method, we can prevent the fetal complications. Okay. Then the management. So we are moving on towards the management. So next, the antenatal management. Okay. So antenatally, what we can do? Nothing. That is, the external cephalic version we can do if it is not contraindicated. Other than that, any complicating factors like any abnormal uterus, all that thing we have to identify. Then external cephalic version, if not contraindicated. When we study about the version, we will come across with the contraindication. So if there is any contraindication for the version, then we should not do. If it is not contraindicated, then ECV, that is external cephalic version, can be done. Then if it is failed or it is contraindicated, then another line of management we should be focusing. Okay, that the next is the scheme of management. So here, so through the antenatal assessment, we will do the antenatal assessment. So if the fetus well-being, weight and attitude, everything we will be seeing. In the maternal, we will see the health of the mother, obstetrical as well as medical health, and even the maternal. We know the CPD and contracted pelvis we studied. So here using the clinical pelvimetry or any method or abdominal vaginal any method, we will find out whether it is contracted or cephalopelvic portion. That we will be finding out. So both the assessment has to be done. And if the external cephalic version has to be done, okay, so it has to be done. So when we are supposed to do this ECV around 36 weeks or after, we can perform this procedure, and it should be conducted at the labor room itself. Okay. And if needed, tocolytics has to be given in order to stop the uterine contractions. Okay. Then fetal monitoring has to be done during as well as before or after the procedure. We have to monitor the baby's condition. Fetal monitoring has to be done. Okay. And if the ECV, that external cephalic version, we have changed the lie of the baby. First it was breech, so we have changed it to the cephalic presentation. Then if it is successful, then we can do as a normal delivery. We can do the delivery as vertex. Now, if it is failed, then we have to we can do the trial of vaginal breech delivery. Then, so in that case, if we are doing the trial, you know that what is trial vaginal delivery, vaginal breech delivery. Okay, trial labor we will be doing, that is breech delivery. So if the labor is progressing well, satisfactory, then assisted breech delivery can be done. Okay, you will come to know what is assisted breech delivery the next classes. Okay, now if this labor is not progressing well, we have to do cesarean section. Okay, in which cases, if the progress is not there, if the baby is going to distress, and along if there is any cord prolapse, so in these cases we have to go to cesarean section. Okay. Now, if the cephalic version was failed, then we did trial of vaginal breech delivery. So for before that, consent should be taken, weight should be checked of the baby. We have to see the type of breech presentation. We have to see the attitude, whether the pelvis is adequate or not, and the experienced personnel should be there. So in all these cases, if it is favorable, then we have to see the labor progress. If the baby, if the labor is progressed well, then we can do the assisted breech delivery. Now, if it is failed, ECV failed, we can do, even if it is above 38 weeks gestation age, we can perform elective cesarean section. Okay. Now, if in some cases even we directly we will move on to the elective cesarean section. In which cases, like if it is more than 38 weeks of gestation, fetal weight is more, that is about 3.5 kg, hyperextended head, it is not flexed, it is extended. Then footling presentation. then any other associate medical or obstetrical complications like if there is CPD or there is if there is a contracted pelvis or there is any cervical tumor or any obstetrical complication, we should not go for this way. We have to move directly for the circumcision. Then pelvis has to be educated, and if there is no experts to conduct the breech delivery, then we can go for the cesarean section. So that is about the scheme for the management of the breech presentation. So today I would like to end this thing. Breech presentation is not ended. There it is more class has to be conducted. So I will be doing that. So I hope you understood. So the breech presentation here, the podalic pole will be at the pelvic rim. Understood? There are different varieties: complete and complete. And complete is the flexed, and the next one, frank breech, frank breech and frank breech. It is knee presentation, voting presentation. That clinical varieties, that complicated and complicated is there. Then diagnosis and management. The scheme of management. With that we have discussed. There are now in the next class we will be seeing the other management cases. So this is only just it is the outshell. Okay. We will be dealing in detail about this in the next classes. Thank you.